So long overdue for a check-in. Um, as I alluded to in my welcome back video a couple days ago on Friday, um, I've been lifting. Diet has been a D, maybe an F, and running has been non-existent. I spent 3 out of 5 weeks traveling. I spent 2 weeks in New York for work, and then I spent a week at Disney. Um, and when I wasn't working, or even when I was, um, when I wasn't traveling, I said actually even when I was though, because the 2 trips to New York were for work. I was just working around the clock. We had a 3-year forecast, and my team is very short staffed, so I'm having to do a lot of stuff that I don't typically do, just to get the same amount of work done. Um, and historically, what's just a pattern with me is when I get super duper busy, my priorities just change, and all I focused on was the work. And you combine that with being on the road 3 out of 5 weeks. I finished the end of April, whatever it was, when I went right before I went on my first trip to New York. I got down to 252 pounds. I can't remember if I recorded a video, but I was still doing my weigh-ins. And when I weighed in this morning, I was 272 pounds. So in the course of 5, maybe 6 weeks, I have put on 20 pounds. My weight fluctuates quite a bit, and very rapidly. And it's not a surprise to me because I've been eating very poorly, and I haven't been running. I have stopped fasting. When I weighed 252, mind you, I was finishing a 40-hour fast, so I was very good about February, March, and April, which is why I lost 30 pounds in 3 months. I was doing a 40-hour fast from Sunday evening dinner to Tuesday at noon, and then when I was 252, I went from Wednesday evening dinner, did not eat on Thursday, and weighed myself Friday morning. And I got very comfortable with that routine. The only thing I'll say is the diet wasn't the hard part. It's trying to work out when fasted. It's really a bit of a stretch. And I was trying to do 2 a days, and I got to the point where I could manage it, but it wasn't like, I don't know that was sustainable. If I was not working out on those days, I could maintain it. It's still not super easy, but I was very routine with it for those 3 months. That's the first time I've ever done it for an extended period like that. And clearly, it worked. I went from 285 in December to 252 at the end of April. So, what's that, 4 months? And I didn't really start until early February. I remember I went to Europe for work the last week in January, and when I came back, I was still in the high 270s. So I wouldn't say, I really made any progress in January. So, really, for the most part, I lost about, 25, 26 pounds in those 3 months. But the wheels really came off in the last 5 weeks for me, 6 weeks, whatever it was. And definitely frustrated. I felt I was well on track to be under 240 by Memorial Day at the end of April, because I was taking off about 10 pounds a month. And that's really a big hurdle for me. And I've gone in the opposite direction. And so it's very discouraging. But, I kind of feel like I've let go of the frustration, and I'm not thinking about, one thing I've gotten good at is kind of resetting. In the past, having a setback like this would just lead to a downward spiral. And I'm not letting that happen. I'm definitely getting back on my routine. The thing is, I know what to do. I know how to do this. My weight is never a surprise to me. When I start to get lower, it definitely gets much, much harder. Like once I get under 250, weight loss definitely gets much more difficult for me. That I will note. Under 250, if I do the right things consistently over time and I don't agonize over, well, yesterday I fasted and my weight didn't come down. Like if I do this over weeks, like I did earlier this year, I see the results. I will say, when I start getting under 250, 240, it gets notably harder. And I think part of the problem is because I still have this mentality that I want to have these cheat meals. And I think to start getting under that, I need to have weekends be very, very clean. And so even then, I guess you could say it's not a mystery because typically have 2 to 3 cheat meals a week where like I'll have a burger and fries or something on the weekend. And I'm very disciplined from Sunday to Thursday. It's Friday and Saturday when my eating, really goes off the rails. But even when I do that consistently, like the weight I am now, 272, even if I do that for the next 2 months, I'm sure, it's June 6th. I'm certain if I were to just maintain that, I would get back to 252 by my birthday, which is July 25th. To get under that, have I been willing to do what it takes to get down to what I say I ultimately want to get down to? I have not shown the discipline to do that. Even when I was down to 233, it was a struggle to get there, and I was really focused on a number, and then as soon as I hit that number, like I just completely went off the rails. But more than anything, I'm still in the fight. I've been lifting very consistently 4 or 5 times a week, save for the time I've been traveling, but lifting doesn't take weight off. And it's very important in the sense that as I age, I'm losing muscle. And if I want to have a functional body until late in life, this is what I tell people. Like, people just equate lifting and all exercise with losing weight. I don't lift weights to lose weight. I definitely run to lose weight, but I also run for my cardiovascular health. It keeps my resting heart rate very low. It makes my heart very, very strong and very, very efficient. And these are things that pay dividends much later in life. Even now, my resting heart rate is in the high 50s. It's typically between 56 and 58 according to my watch. But all of the exercise I do is not necessarily geared towards losing. When I lift, I'm not thinking about losing weight. I'm thinking about body shape, body composition, and just functional strength, fighting the aging process. More than anything, lifting weights is fighting the aging process, and I've been concentrating on back and legs because I want to be able to walk in my 80s. I want to be able to run in my 80s. I don't want to have a bad back. So I'm focusing on areas that, later in life, middle-aged men start having issues. And so I'm making sure I maintain very strong legs and making sure I maintain a strong back. Less so focused on benching and curls and all that. It's less important to me. I'm really trying to focus on the core muscles because I want my body to age well. I don't want to lose mobility in my body, even with the weight gain, which is terrible. I'm not even going to say not ideal, just terrible. The ability to move this weight around is important to me. So, I maintain the lifting, and I enjoy the lifting. But I've consistently been lifting 3 to 5 times a week, even through all of this. That's why I always tell people, lifting weights is great, but I don't lift weights to lose weight. When I'm running and dieting well, the weight flies off. Running will accelerate the weight, but I won't lose any weight without my diet. I ran a marathon at 295 pounds, and I ran over 700 miles that year. So, I never am under the illusion that running is this cure for a bad diet. It's not. When I'm on my fasting protocol and when I'm running consistently, and when I'm staying off of the processed foods, the weight flies off. But, I feel like all I've been maintaining the last 5 or 6 weeks is the lifting. The diet has been terrible, and it's very difficult to maintain a diet of lean meats. I shouldn't even say I don't even look for lean meats. I don't shy from fatty meats. Um, Non-processed organic meats, grass-fed steak, chicken thighs, my boneless, skinless chicken thighs. That's primarily the meat I eat. I have been having fish once or twice a week. With the meal service I order, I make sure I get at least two salmon meals in there. Um, but weekends have been a disaster. I've been eating out a lot, and when I was traveling those 3 weeks, my diet was basically raw sewage. Um, so I'm not surprised to see where my weight is. I'm not surprised at all. My weight is never a mystery to me at this point. It used to be very frustrating, but I know what I need to do. So just to kind of bring this home, I'm not traveling for at least the next 3 months, until at least late August, and I'm really focused on getting back on my fasting protocol. I'm not going to do the 40-hour fast because I want to work out more, but what I am going to do is, I've been taking in about 2,500 to 2,700 calories a day. So two 40-hour fasts essentially cuts out about 5,000 to 5,200 calories. What I am doing is I'm going to go back on 3 24-hour fasts a week. So Sunday, one meal, Tuesday, one meal, Thursday, one meal. And I'm going to give myself 1,250 calories. So three days of 1,250 to 1,500 calories is in the same ballpark. We're talking maybe 600 calories less, more fasted versus the 240-hour fasts. But in terms of the training, my glycogen stores just completely deplete when I do 40-hour fasts, and it's very hard to do the training. So I'm gonna step away from the 40-hour fast. I'm not going to try to rush the process. I'm not gonna go on some crackpot, whatever type of craziness that's just gonna lead to me binging. I had a thought of just saying no junk food fast for all of June, but it's just like whenever I try to do something extreme like that, I just end up kind of losing it and binging. So I'm gonna stay on my routine. I'm gonna stick to 2 to 3 cheat meals a weekend. I'm gonna eat completely clean from Sunday to Thursday, and I'm gonna do my 24-hour fasts. And I'm gonna run 3 to 4 days a week, and I'm gonna lift 4 to 5 days a week. Doing that consistently over a long period of time, over the next 8 weeks, I'm 100% confident my weight will be back in the 250 range, like 100% confident. So I'm not gonna rush the process. I'm not gonna panic. Definitely was frustrated to step on a scale and see that 272, but where I am is where I am, and I'm gonna start from where I am. So I know I said I was going to have a check-in and just kind of an update, and it's important, even if I'm the only person on planet Earth that watches this. I do always go back and watch my videos, but just kind of wanted to put an update out there for where I am, and just where I've been the last 5 weeks, and where I plan to go moving forward. So I'm going to start pumping out the videos again. I recognize that, and I've said this before, when I'm pumping out videos, it definitely means I'm engaged and I'm seeing progress. And when I'm not pumping out videos, it's always a terrible sign that the prioritization isn't there with my fitness and my health. So, I'm going to look to start pumping out 3 to 4 videos a week. So that's about it. So I'll be checking in soon. For now, for Reed Fitness, signing off.